A Sports pregame show.
Ernie Johnson joined by Shaquille O'Neal. Kenny the Jet Smith, thanks for tuning in. You're watching the NBA on
It's the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellum and Greg Anthony. Just off a road trip, the Pacers are back at home and going against New Orleans, their first meeting of the year. They controlled everything in both games last year, going 2-0.
And in the conference game here, just a two-game season series.
Yeah, you know, you want to make every game count. Take care of business and give yourself a chance to sweep.
Now, the opening lineup for the New Orleans Pelicans. Evans and Davis, the forward tandem. Ian Clark out there with Russell. And it's Hill in at the center, filling out the middle. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. The Pacers shooting their initial free throws of the game right here.
Indiana, Brandon Bass.
The first free throw is good.
And the one for two.
That one is no good. The drive by Russell. The basket good off the assist from Evans.
Yes.
Russell's got his first points of the night.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play him.
Pass against Hill. Jennings for three. Nice D from Russell. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Knicks in New York.
And on an ordinary night, guys, I think they would have come out on top. That's just how well they played, but they happened to catch an opposing team at the very top of their game.
I'd venture to guess, Greg, that if that game was played in their building instead of on the road, they win it.
And here's Jennings following the three from Tyreke Evans. Turner with a screen on Russell. Russell against Jennings. Again, Jennings missing.
A bit of pride at stake, trying to get that last three ball back, but couldn't get it to fall.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Now here's Jennings. At the elbow, it's Turner. And George, here we go. And he gets it to go.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
New Orleans has gone 2 of 2 from three-point range here in the first quarter. And here's Russell coming off a stellar performance against Milwaukee. Davis kicks to Russell. Davis setting the pick for Russell. 5 on the clock. And Davis with the basket on the assist by Russell. Russell's got his third assist on the night. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Earlier, I spoke with Frank Vogel. He said a big factor in this game will be how well they limit penetration by Tyreke Evans. He said he's so unique in that he's so big and so strong and also tremendously slippery and elusive off the bounce. But we've really got to cut off his right hand and then dare him to shoot over the top. I'd rather he have a wide open look from 18, 19 feet than a clear lane to the rim any day of the week. Kevin, the marching order, pretty clear cut.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Pelicans leading by 7. Here's Hill. And Turner with the block. Outside, George. And Davis sends it back. 4-on-3 break. Russell with a wide open look. And again, New Orleans has no luck. Here's Richardson. Shot's good. Jennings making the play. Richardson's got his first bucket in this one.
Boy, you got to love that nice assist by Jennings.
Davis kicks to Russell. The rebound by Turner.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Davis dishes to Evans. Hill, a screen on George. Russell passes to Hill. Davis loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Davis has got 6 points.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
And Evans throws it down hard.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
And you can tell they're just a little out of sync. I think he just wants to get everybody back on the same page.
Yeah, I like this timeout, Greg. I think it's a good one because it looks like they need a minute to talk things through here.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Henson's checked in for Bass. Bogdanovich comes in for George. Ellis is checked in for Richardson. And it's Chalmers in for Brandon Jennings. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Pelicans.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And also, how about the fact defensively they're getting that backboard and getting out in transition, especially in this first half.
That was a good rebound right there, but they haven't been very strong on the glass so far.
Clark, a little disparity there in the rebound numbers, but some of that comes down to how the ball bounces. Let's see if it evens out.
Cunningham's shot is off.
You know what? You just cannot get much better of a look than that one.
Exactly. I mean, no way you expect him to miss that shot.
Here's Bogdanovich. 11 points for him in that last game against the Knicks in New York. Just 5 on the clock. And here's Chalmers from the arc. It's rebounded by New Orleans. They put up a nice win against the Bucks the last time out.
You know, they played well enough to win, but to be honest with you, I just felt like their opponent's defensive performance was shaky at best.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, Greg. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard for it as they should have.
Here's Ellis. Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. And we heard from John Henson before the game, a player on the rise. He feels he still has a lot to prove.
Defensively, offensively, I think I'm better.
Well, it sounds like he still feels like he has something to prove, Greg, but it seems to me he's already known for being that kind of guy.
Yeah, it's a great point. Anybody who plays
I met 2 lesbian freaks that they want with me, so I'm gonna fuck them both dirty hoes while they
motivate himself by playing with a chip on his shoulder. Well, a lot of guys have gone a long, long way in this league using that method.
Welcome back, everyone. We're ready to get going again as this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports continues. Players are topped off with Gatorade, hydrated, and ready to get going again as well. And looking at what we've seen, Pelicans pretty much in control here.
How good has the ball movement been here? Just absolutely terrific.
Boy, that kind of timely passing, Greg, really fun to watch.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So for New Orleans right now, Evans and Davis, the forward tandem. Russell is out there with Ian Clark, and it's Ajinça in at the center position. And Indiana making a change here. Richardson's checked in. And both free throws good for Davis. Pacers trail by 14. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
Ellis wide open. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Ellis has got his second bucket of the game to go. Russell high post. Ellis on him. Russell no luck.
He continues to struggle from the field. But luckily for him and his team, his teammates have been able to pick him up and get the job done.
Now here's Ellis. 20 points for him last game against the Knicks in New York.
Yeah, not to mention the 4 big steals on the night, getting after it on both ends.
In the jam by Ajinça.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-hander.
Brandon Jennings, he's checked in for the Pacers. Dishes to Richardson. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Henson's shot is off. Pelicans leading by 14. Evans kicks to Ajinça. Here's Russell. And he drops it in from the low post. Russell's got his second basket of the night.
And just a little bit ragged defensively there, Clark.
Jennings against Russell. Now here's Richardson. He's tightly guarded. Excellent use of the screen that time.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans. New Orleans making some changes here. Hill comes in for Alexis Ajinça. And it's Tyler Ennis in for Russell. Evans kicks to Davis. Yes, and a nice assist from Evans. And that's 11 points for Anthony Davis.
Really just a tremendous day for him. And if you remember, he was just as good in their last game.
Pass dishes to Jennings. And so the ball out of bounds. Davis touched it last.
And a moment now to check out the numbers for Richardson. Last season's performance for him put up about 9 points per, 2 assists and 2 rebounds. And the numbers won't wow you, but I like the effort he brings to the table each and every night.
Yeah, great hustle, does all the little things. Just a good complimentary guy to have on your team.
The drive by Jennings. And he gets it to go. Jennings has got his first 2 points of the night. Pelicans leading by 15. Ennis kicks to Davis. There's the screen. Hill puts up a baby hook. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The Pelicans shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. The free throw drops for Hill. Turner's checked in for Indiana. Bogdanovich comes in for George. Both free throws good from Hill.
Another trip to the stripe for him, and I tell you what, a little bit of a different feel here in the second quarter. A little more banging going on.
Man, and it's really served them well, seeking out the contact you mentioned and putting pressure on the defense.
They get the rebound.
Well, they've only got a slight edge in rebounding when you look at the numbers, but it certainly feels a lot bigger than it is.
Yeah, the score has a lot to do with that. Their overall effort and execution has been elite. Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
Now here's Davis. 11 points in the game. He used that pick to get in close. And the Pelicans lead by 17.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Ennis kicks to Davis. It's good. The assist that time from Ennis. 14 points for Anthony Davis.
Just look at what a sniper he is from long range. He's got such an unusual skill for a big fella.
Here's Jennings. Here's Bogdanovich. Offline with his 3.
There's some good defense for you. I mean, for somebody who's as good at shooting the 3 as he is, you need a defender who's equally adept at guarding against him. That was well done.
I like that. They obviously put the right guy on him.
Here's Ennis, following the basket by Brandon Jennings. Evans passes to Hill. The dish now to Ennis. Evans attacking. Out of bounds. Indiana takes possession. Let's take a moment to look at the 2K leaderboard and see last year's high-scoring teams. 5th on the list, the Pelicans.
This was one of the better scoring teams last year. They had a lot of different offensive weapons to choose from, and they knew exactly how to use them most effectively.
Monte Ellis, he's checked in for Indiana. Chalmers comes in for Brandon Jennings. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Cunningham, he's checked in for Davis. Luke Babbitt comes in for Tyreek Evans. Quincy Pondexter, he's checked in for Ian Clark. And Cole subbed in for Ennis. Henson with the screen. And here's Chalmers from the arc. It's rebounded by New Orleans.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady with their work on the interior. Really a well-rounded effort overall.
And pushing it up, here's New Orleans. Babbitt kicks to Cunningham. Deep two from Pondexter. And again, no good by New Orleans. And here we go. Here's Bogdanovich. And some nice defense there to end the quarter. A dominating first half of basketball. And so far, it hasn't been close. Pelicans ahead, up by 16. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Coach Vogel, a tough going for your guys. So.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome, everyone. We'll be taking a look back at what was a tremendous game we're seeing from Anthony Davis. He had 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Kenny, your thoughts? How the Pelicans are playing?
They obviously crushed it from deep. They were firing it from every angle and kept hitting the target. I mean, look at the score. Obviously, a lot of things went right for them, but that's a big one.
Shaq, your take on Indiana.
Well, when you look at the opponent field goal percentage, that tells the whole story. They gave up way too many good looks. When they come out of the break, they got to play way tougher, Ernie. Get those hands up. Get in your opponent's face. Do something.
And that's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. You look at Anthony Davis in this game, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about the truly greats of our game is that sometimes you get spoiled because of how consistent they can be. And so far, another big scoring night for him.
And oftentimes when he puts up that many points in the first half, he follows it up with an even better second half. We'll see if that's the case here.
Brandon Bass is out there with Turner. Then there's Jennings. Then it's Paul George. And it's Richardson in at the shooting guard. That's the group starting the second half for Frank Vogel.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole. Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
They're doing work here in the second half. 3 or 4 to start.
Knocked loose. The kick out to Hill. Right side Russell. New Orleans moving it around. Hill dishes to Davis. That doesn't go either for Davis.
You can see how much the defense respects him. I mean, they were all over him on that look.
Here's Turner. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
And all about imposing your will offensively, getting exactly the kind of looks their coach drew up.
And the Pelicans making a change here. Bairstow's checked in.
Timeout. Start it.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He was intent on running their offense through Turner. Coach is looking for him to take on a lot of responsibility when they've got the ball, to be a leader at the offensive end. Coach was not wasting any time in altering their strategy here in the second half. And Kevin, he's going to have to hope those changes take effect quickly.
Always great to hear from you, Doris. And here are the Pacers now, following the score by New Orleans. And George, here we go. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush.
Here's George after D'Angelo Russell's bucket. Jennings with the bucket. Just over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. Outside, Davis from deep. Pacers with the rebound.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, you may not be as lucky next time down if you're the defense. You cannot allow him to get those kinds of looks.
Yep, it goes in. The Pelican lead is cut down now to just 8 points with the basket from Turner. Now a timeout called by New Orleans. Monte Ellis, he's checked in for Brandon Jennings. And New Orleans also making a change. Tyler Ennis, he's checked in for Ian Clark. Ellis, the pass to Turner. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. Turner's got 17.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run. And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for.
Major league big boy throwdown right there.
And he keeps a tight grip on that rim after the finish.
Yeah, maybe that'll give them a little bit of that swagger that they seem to have lost.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Kia. Good stuff on that Kia Slam Cam.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
Evans, good.
That's leadership. Really, really valuable to have someone who can just take charge like he has.
Well, there's a certain amount of confidence you have when the ball is in his hands at that end of the floor right now. I mean, he just gives you a sense of calm and confidence because of how good he is. With the success they've been having from the three-point line since halftime, I'll bet you that scoreboard starts to look a lot different real soon.
Partner, that's assuming they can continue that hot shooting. But if they do, and especially if they can get a few stops, you have to think they'll make this thing interesting.
And Turner with the block. And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession. And Indiana making a change here. Chalmers is checked in. We've got 1:13 left in the third. And Russell gets it to go.
And since halftime, he has been a different player.
And Chalmers kicks to George. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist. And that's 13 points for Paul George.
Great awareness by Mario Chalmers on that feed. Tacks a few more points onto their lead with the tomahawk.
Ah, that's bringing it down hard. Clark
yes,
bringing it down hard,
yes,
my brother.
Yes, symbolic there as well of the effort here tonight.
Pass to Ellis. Nobody near George. Off target from three-point range. New Orleans leading by 11. And the wide open shot from Evans. And it's New Orleans scoring again. 30 seconds left to play in the third. And Chalmers kicks to Bass. He feeds it to George. Ellis goes in, and it's sent back by Russell. And they get it back. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3. It's going to send Miles Turner to the line. That's on D'Angelo Russell. Pacers have gone 2 for 3 at the foul line in this game. New Orleans gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. And the basket by Hill.
You don't need much range to hit from that distance, Kevin.
There's 10 seconds left here in the third quarter. Got a piece of it. Over to the wing. Here's Cole. Another one falls for New Orleans. And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. Pelicans leading by 14 on the court for the Pelicans. Getting the fourth quarter going. We've got Quincy Pondexter. Hill is out there with Cunningham. Then it's Norris Cole. And it's Babbitt in at the 3 spot. No good. And it's the Pacers taking it the other way. Chalmers dishes to Jennings. Back to Chalmers. Here's Bogdanovich. Off target with his 3. New Orleans has gotten off 12 shots from beyond the arc tonight, hitting 7 of them. And Henson pulls it down.
I'm a fan of anybody who defends that way. I mean, they weren't about to open the door and just allow him to cruise in for a layup.
That one's good. The New Orleans lead is cut down to 12 on the bucket from Chalmers.
They're doing their best to erase the deficit here with some smart passes and some good shooting. I mean, those two things go hand in hand. If you're going to make shots, then the passes have to be on target and on time.
They recover it. And again, New Orleans has no luck. And here's Indiana. Here in the fourth quarter, their defense has been very strong, allowing no baskets. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two.
He's been absolutely in control. No slowing down for Turney. He has 20 points and 3 denied. What a force he's been in the paint.
And he's gotten himself into the air, Clark, so often, blocking shots and getting rebounds.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Brandon Bass is checked in for John Henson. Paul George comes in for Bogdanovich. And it's Richardson in for Mario Chalmers. Here's Jennings, and Davis sends it back.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there, earned those free throws.
And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The scoring breakdown for the Pelicans.
They keep piling up the assists, and they haven't cooled off at all.
It's been a hot shooting night for them, too. I mean, they've hit a lot of those mid-range jump shots.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player. Excellent at the free throw line.
And a slam dunk by Richardson.
And now both teams really in a groove.
This game already, guys, was high scoring, but they've really amped and ramped it up to another level down the stretch.
And that's not the way for a team to get back into a game, giving up open shots like that.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over.
Yeah, it looks like he saw some things out there that need to be adjusted, and he's going to take a break here and talk it over.
Hey, you know, coaches sometimes need a break in the action to rethink and retool a bit. Anytime you're in that situation, it makes sense to use the timeout.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Frank Vogel addressing his team. He told them, hey, guys, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. We're still alive in this thing. All we need to do is rely on each other. Let's stay aggressive, stick together, and play as a team. We're coming back. Back to you, Kevin.
Here is Jennings. After D'Angelo Russell's bucket, Bass passes to Jennings. And he gets that one to go off the front iron.
He's definitely turned things around in this game. I mean, he was more of a background player in the first half. He's jumped center stage now.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. Pelicans leading by 10. Russell kicks to Ajinça. The feed to Evans. And just about 3 minutes through the fourth quarter here. Jennings against Russell. Back to Evans. Clock at 6. Trying to find Davis. He's got it now. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. That one on George.
Davis playing very well. He's got 17 points, and he's got 9 points from behind the arc.
And that's been an important part of his game today. It's really spaced the floor.
Pacers trail by 12. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. The shot by George, no good.
Good pick, but he just couldn't make it count.
Yeah, nice job of setting the screen by his teammate there, and I'm sure he appreciated it.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
Here's George after Tyreke Evans' score.
That's exactly how you have to defend him. He's a guy that the D needs to be aware of at all times. But still, eventually, you got to feel like he'll start knocking those down again.
Jennings dishes to Richardson. He kicks to George. That doesn't go either for George.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
The shot's good from Evans.
That kind of power move has become a trademark of his.
Jennings passes to Richardson. It's back to Jennings. And stolen by Russell. Here we go, all alone. And slam dunk by Clark.
And really, I like the fact that even with the big lead, they never coasted.
To me, that's a sign of a really good team, Greg, because you should always be playing against the game and yourself. I know there's an opponent out there, but when you have a lead, it's all about continuing to execute. Do what you do and stay true to that. And I like that aggressiveness and full speed ahead kind of attack that they have.
Now here is Davis. New Orleans moving it around. They set the pick. Just 5 to shoot. Ajinça kicks to Russell. Leaner from distance. Misses off the left iron.
Boy, that's a tough one. But he did all he could there, using the leaner to get the shot off.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for the Pelicans.
And the big difference here was accuracy behind the three-point line, Clark.
Well, they started spraying them from deep, and then it spread out the defense, and they had all the looks they wanted.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
And it always feels good to get that first win in the season series. Going head-to-head twice this year, this will put them up 1-0 so far against the...
And this run not really doing them any good at this point, as late as it's starting to evolve.
Yeah, but kudos to him, Greg. I mean, the fight they're showing now, you got to give them credit for that. Would have been really easy to pack it in.
Back to Davis. It's tipped. Paul George with the steal. Now the Pacers moving it up. Kept alive by Indiana. Here's Russell. So we see the Pelicans taking the W here. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, Tyreek, a very confident game for this basketball team. What made it all come together tonight?
We were just outstanding from the jump.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Ernie Johnson. Got Shaquille O'Neal. He had an outstanding third quarter. Whatever they needed in terms of energy and offense, he was the firepower that propelled them during the second half.
He shot over 50% from the field in the game, a testament to how hard he worked to always find the best look possible. He was in constant motion. He found those gaps in the D and made the most of his open looks.
There was nothing they could do to slow him down, Ernie. Man, go into a building on the road and completely control the action like he did, only a few players could do that, Ernie. I'm impressed.
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports